buy a beer in the neighborhood. Call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray.
First time I ever met Joe Murray was at a hoop.
If he stopped playing, he'll be a softball superstar. Pretty darn good baseball superstar. Leal rallied in the game. NL has rallied in the swing. Trick! Look out, Chop House! National League takes the lead 4-3. Unbelievable. Three for Kyle Schwarber. I mean, he went down to a knee after this one.
Oh, man, did you hear the crack of the bat off that one? Guys, if you wouldn't mind, find me the crack of that bat. That is audio porn for a baseball guy like me. Just Schwarber, fat-ass softball player up there going up and hitting bombs. That's what you want. That's how you end an all-star game. Dingers. Who doesn't like dingers? Chicks dig the long ball, don't they? You want to know why the 90s were great? You want to know why I love baseball? I grew up in the 90s, where we had guys out there, fat asses out there just hitting bombs. Guys with the biceps the size of small European nations. Give me the crack of that bat again. Oh. 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 Homers, baby. Homers. Where was that in Milwaukee in 2002? Huh? Hey, Felger, as you're driving home, your city ruined the All-Star game in 2002. Your city tried to ruin baseball in 2002, and don't you ever forget that. Where was that? Give me a home run derby. Swing-offs, baby. That was a format last night. How about that? I'm in on that. Kyle Schwarber, what more could you want as a baseball fan or as somebody who likes fun? Big, fat-ass softball player just going up there and hitting nukes. Not to mention, too, you had Aaron Boone being a complete idiot and sending up something called a Jonathan Aranda. That was the most deserved result in the history of sports last night. One league sends up Kyle Schwarber to hit bombs. The other league, because Aaron Judge was already back in New York and definitely wanted no part to do with the swing-off anyway, there's no way Judge would have participated in that thing. None. Zero. He's not clutch. He's not mentally strong enough. He's weak. He's soft. There's no way Aaron Judge ever wanted anything to do with that. So we, as the American League, and yes, we, American League City, I can still get into it, we send up something called a Jonathan Aranda. What is Jonathan Aranda? Who is Jonathan Aranda? I'm a baseball guy. I don't know who Jonathan Aranda is. And I'm only mostly joking about that. I kind of know he plays for the Rays. I watched the Rays this past weekend. Who is Jonathan Aranda? But I get to come in here and talk about the All-Star game and a swing-off. I'm in on that, baby. In. McCarthy in for Joe Murray tonight. What's our opening take? Our opening take, Skaz, is brought to you by, I believe, is it Super Service today? Joe threw out the copy. Where are my reads? Damn it. Joe, where are my reads? Is it Super Service today? Is that right?
That is correct.
Nailed it. We've taken care of that. Do I need to say anything else about them? They're great.
They're Massachusetts' #1 provider for residential and commercial plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning, day or night, and always done right. Visit superservicetoday.com.
That jingle is awesome. Oh, man. I could sing it. I'm so happy about baseball last night. Here's the deal. We're on until 7:30. We've got the Revs coming your way against the Red Bulls. 617-779-0985. Skaz is alongside intern Luke Fitzpatrick from Ithaca. The best in the business back there. I want to start with the state of my game, because the state of my game, my sport, is strong. And I am sick of sports talk radio, especially in this town, treating baseball like the redheaded stepchild that the people here think it is. And yes, we are as guilty of that as everybody else. Because I keep hearing that this sport has problems. Does baseball have any more problems than any other sport out there at this point? I don't think so. And for years, baseball's problems were legitimate, and baseball did have the biggest issue of the four major sports in any of them. And the sport really went to a dark place. It did. The games were way too long. There was not enough action. Players were not marketed, and the sport lost a lot of people. Baseball lost a lot of people, and I understand that. Is that happening now? Like, do we really get the sense that baseball is hemorrhaging fans? Because it's not. Let me give you a few headlines from the past few days. Home Run Derby ratings up 5%. Headline from Sportico. MLB national TV ratings on a heater at the All-Star break. Last year's World Series, Yankees-Dodgers, in fairness, most watched World Series in 7 years, nearly a decade. Attendance, highest in 7 years. Games, on average, being played in 2 hours and 36 minutes, and you get that last night. We've tweaked the rules, we've changed the rules, we've made the game better, and you actually gave you a little something as a sports fan last night to kind of sink your teeth into. That was a good night for baseball. Baseball's had a lot of really good nights. In fact, baseball's had a couple of really good years. The sport is coming back. It is. And I'm tired of us talking about it like it's dying. Because it's not. For a few years there, yeah, baseball was in trouble. Baseball was in a lot of trouble. And I'm the first to say it as somebody who loves the sport. Yet why do we keep talking about it like we're still in that spot? Why do we keep talking about it like it's 5 years ago, like it's 7 years ago, at the lowest point that baseball was at probably in the history of the sport? To be totally honest, it's lazy. I think our takes are lazy on this. I think our opinions are lazy on it, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. This week I've heard cancel the All-Star game. Cancel the Home Run Derby. I'm sorry, why? Why exactly should we do that? And I'm not going to come in here and make the argument to you that All-Star games matter anymore, because they don't. It's a different world. You know, the All-Star game used to be one of the biggest sporting events of the summer, and that's from a bygone era. All right? I mean, you know, it's when American League and National League didn't play, and the national TV packages weren't what they were. And, you know, if you wanted to see Bob Gibson, this was your one opportunity to see Bob Gibson a year, or whatever that thing is. So I get that. I understand that. All-Star games don't matter anymore, but don't tell me it's worthless. Don't tell me it's useless. Don't tell me that the fans don't kind of enjoy it for what it is, because I guarantee you the ratings were up last night. We don't have the numbers on it, but based on the way that everything has been trending in baseball, I'm going to guarantee you the All-Star game ratings were up last night. The Home Run Derby ratings were up. National television is up on baseball this year. Red Sox-Yankees on June 7th was the most watched baseball game, regular season baseball game in 5 years. So I'm sure the All-Star game followed that trend, especially with the swing-off last night. Skaz, do you have something on that?
1 hour ago, 7.2 million viewers for the All-Star game is the largest TV audience since 2017. Reflecting the increase in regular season ratings in the first half of this MLB season.
Everything is trending back over the last 7 years. Every stat I just gave you, Skaz. World Series last year, highest watched World Series in 7 years. Attendance, highest in 7 years. We've got to stop talking about baseball like it's dying the way it was 7 years ago. Because it was. The game was threatened 7 years ago. They have done what they have needed to do, and it's not done yet, but the progress that has been made in this sport is significant. It's completely and totally significant, and we need to stop talking about it like it's 7 years ago. Guys, enough is enough. Like, pay attention. Watch the game. Pay attention. Pay attention to the ratings. Pay attention to the way people are talking about the sport. The fact of the matter is, we can talk Red Sox now. And 7 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, talking Red Sox, I'll admit it, was a tough thing to do. I know, because I kept trying to do it, because it's my sport, it's my favorite sport, it's the thing I like to talk about the most. The game is trending in a much better direction. Can we actually give the sport some credit for improving their product and fixing the things they needed to fix? But instead, I feel like there's a lot of discussion that I hear that we just crap on baseball because we just got used to crapping on baseball because we think it's a decade ago. It's not. We're playing the game faster. The game is being played at a high level. There are more balls in play. We still need to improve on that, okay? We do. but there are a ton of stars in the game. Baseball, I think, is marketing the stars. I think baseball stars are far more marketable than they were a decade ago. You have an all-time player in Shohei Ohtani. There are a lot of good things going on for the sport. And the All-Star Game last night, for what it is, let's not overrate what the All-Star Game experience it is, but for what it was quality. It's just a baseball game in the middle of the summer that doesn't mean anything. But you know what? It's not the freaking Pro Bowl.
Yeah, just more to your point. This is the largest audience for anything Fox has aired since the Super Bowl.
Yep. You know why? Because the sport is coming back, and we need to talk about it like it's coming back. I don't know who in particular this is directed at, but I just keep hearing these things. We're talking about baseball like it's 2017. It's not. It's 2025, and the numbers are reflecting it. And the fans are coming back to the game. And you know what? You should have gone away from the game. It was taking too long. The personality was taken out of it. And don't get me wrong, we are still fighting that fight. We're still fighting against the analytics. I'm not saying it's perfect. No sport is perfect. But there are good things going on in the game if you just bother to pay attention to it. And people are. The numbers reflect that people are. This is not me arguing something that's not happening. It's happening. The numbers are there. The data is there. The game is coming back from a bad place. And most importantly, in this city, we need the Red Sox to come back from a bad place. Because the energy at Fenway Park over the weekend was off the charts. And the Red Sox have a real opportunity to capitalize on what we're seeing, Skaz, in a resurgence in baseball. That's not me saying it. That's the numbers saying it. A bit of a resurgence in baseball. And I'm going to tell you, it's been easier to talk Red Sox on these airwaves this year than it has been in a long time. As somebody who does it every single summer. I talk Red Sox, I get full phone lines. That's not the way it's been for a while. People are coming back to the game because the quality of the game is better. The product is better. Now we need the Red Sox to follow suit. The opportunity is there in front of them. And they need to capitalize on it, and by starting to do so at the trading deadline. We'll get into that. Jared Carrabba speaking on Joe Ryan a few minutes ago. A lot of good stuff there. What the Red Sox need to do at this deadline to capitalize on the resurgence of baseball. That's the takeaway from that thing last night. A resurgence in the sport. We continue. It's Matt McCarthy in for Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
particular case of Joe Ryan, you're going to have to get creative. And whether that's taking on a bad contract to help out the Twins, whether that's involving a third team so that there's prospects and big league guys going all over the place. Like if you don't have the names in particular, let's say there's a pitching prospect that maybe you don't want to part ways with. Maybe there's another team that can include that pitching prospect to satisfy the Twins, and then you can satisfy this other team. There's ways that you can do it. It's just the likelihood of it is what's in question.
Jared Carabas a few minutes ago with Maz on Joe Ryan, who is undeniably the number one target for the Red Sox at this deadline. And the only question is, will the Minnesota Twins move him? And it's Matt McCarthy in for Joe Murray tonight. We're leading you up to the Revs and the Red Bulls coming your way shortly. We had reporting, maybe that's a strong term. Jimmy Stewart does not like to use the word reporting to describe his reporting, but Jimmy Stewart had what he called gossip mongering on the Baseball Hour last night, where he had heard that the Red Sox were willing to take on a big contract from the Twins in order to get Joe Ryan. Now, Jimmy didn't know the name. I can speculate on the name. That's Carlos Correa. It would seem to make sense that perhaps the Red Sox would be willing to take on a big-time contract to give up less in return for Joe Ryan, which is exactly what they should be doing. And if we're talking about the resurgence of baseball, that the numbers show, and they're showing at the All-Star break, they're showing throughout the year, they're showing in the World Series last year, and this is a direct result of the changes that they've made to the game, the pitch clock, extra innings rule. I'd love to see swing-offs come to Major League Baseball in the regular season, not in the 10th inning, but you want to have a swing-off in the 12th inning to end a ball game, go nuts. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Especially after what you saw last night. Just so long as we don't send out the Jonathan Arandas of the world. We send out actual big, fat-ass, big slugging hitters to go hit tanks, which is exactly what you need. The chicks dig the long ball. And I do too. And baseball fans do. Hit me home runs, baby. Homers, baby. Homers. But if you want to win baseball games, you got to keep it in the yard, which is why the Red Sox need to get Joe Ryan. Period. End of story. Joe Ryan is the number one target, and the Minnesota Twins need to realize that they are the Minnesota Twins. They are not going to the playoffs. They are in 10th place in the American League. I don't care if it's only 4 games out. Oh, we're only 4 games out. Yet you've got 4 more teams to jump. You're out. You're done. See you later. And the Red Sox need to put the pressure on the Twins to get this deal done over the course of the next few weeks. But the question then becomes, if the Twins are playing hard to get with Joe Ryan, and undeniably they are, based on the comments that Craig Breslow made a few days ago about talking to a team about a trade for 4 or 5 days, and then that doesn't come to fruition, and that team isn't as serious as perhaps they initially led on, and that means you've wasted 4 or 5 days, that is undeniably a shot at the Twins. Because I believe what I heard from Jimmy yesterday, that the Red Sox thought they had a deal, they were willing to take on a contract, and then the Twins maybe walked away. Keep at it. Keep at it. You've got 2 weeks to go until the deadline, a little bit more than that at this point. That is your number one target. The question is, what are you willing to give up in return? Let's say the Twins don't want to include a Correa contract, maybe a Vasquez contract, one of their bad contracts. Let's say the Twins say, you know what, if we're trading Joe Ryan, who has 2+ more years of team control, is an all-star. You saw him strike out 2 guys last night. I took my pants off. It was very exciting. I was at a bar. I said, oh, Joe Ryan. Started moaning. That's my guy. I love Joe Ryan. Got kicked out. And I said, but no, Joe Ryan just struck out a guy. You can't kick me out. He's still pitching. If the Twins decide they're going to trade him, what are they going to get in return? And that's the biggest question. Would the Red Sox be willing to give up their number one pitching prospect and their soon-to-be number one prospect once Meyer and Anthony graduate in Peyton Tolley? Jared Carabas had some thoughts on that.
Would you move Tolley for Ryan?
I don't think it would be a straight-up deal. I'd have to see the whole package. I think it's It's definitely something where Joe Ryan's the name. Like, that's the name that I'm personally circling. I know that you're joining me in that regard. I don't think it's going to be obviously a 1-for-1. I'd be like, what else is in there? And I think the thing is, Tony, there are guys in this system right now that have a lot of value, just not to the Red Sox. I think it's the perfect time for the Red Sox to make a prospect heavy baseball trade, because they have a lot of talent in their system. It's just where does it fit? They're trying to get rid of guys because they have too many players at the big league level. Now you're talking about trying to make room for these other guys that haven't even made their debuts yet. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting deadline in that sense, because they do have the talent. It's not like they're a barren wasteland that they're trying to make a deal from.
So Carabas is right about that. Now is the time to trade prospects for big league stars. I'd also argue now is the time to move a guy like Jarren Duran off of your big league roster if that's getting you somebody like Joe Ryan in return. But when it comes to Peyton Tolley, I'm making that deal. If the Twins draw the line in the sand and they say, we will not trade you Joe Ryan unless you trade us Peyton Tolley, your number one pitching prospect, in return, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Because if not now, when? If not now, never. 10-game winning streak. You're in the playoffs. Baseball is experiencing a resurgence nationally and here in Boston. You add Joe Ryan to that pitching rotation behind Garrett Crochet, that's worth it, even if you're giving up Peyton Tolley in return. It's totally, totally worth it. Skaz, Luke, thank you. Appreciate the help. We'll be back on after the Revs. We've got the Revs and the Red Bulls coming your way. Back on about 9:30 here on the Sports Hub. Talk to you then.